Hello, good afternoon on your Thursday, the 1st of May, the day Chelsea take on Swedish club Djurgården in the Europa Conference League. I'm Kevin, and you're here on Chelsea Fan TV. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that jazz, and obviously smash the like button. So we're going to go through a few things today. We're going to go through the predicted starting lineup. We're going to go through a bit of Chelsea news, and also we're going to go through bits and bobs from the last game, the weekend's 1-0 win against Everton, and we're going to indulge in all things Chelsea. So, yeah, fantastic. So, yeah, how's everybody feeling today? Are we feeling confident going into this game? Don't know myself too much about the Swedish opposition, but I'm sure we will have a look at their team and see what players we can find and which players we know of. Just going to go into the comments first and foremost. Jordan Evans, always here, always on time. Big up yourself, mate. Thank you for jumping on. And anyone else that is there, please leave your comments. And yeah, interesting times at Chelsea. We've been able to get 2 back-to-back wins, coming off a little bad spot really, where we had Brentford, we had Ipswich, which was a bad draw, and then we lost against the Polish opposition, League of Warsaw at home. And it looked, for me personally, it looked down and out. It didn't look like we could pull it back and try and find some consistency going into the end of the season. And we've been able to get back-to-back wins. Okay, not really in convincing fashion, but a win's a win. 6 points out of 6. Can we continue that form tonight? Going into the massive game against Liverpool, where we're going to have to give them a guard of honour. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to feel about that, but yeah, interesting times at Chelsea. Yeah, so people in the comments, man, there's 20 people in there. Smash the likes. How are we feeling about tonight? What are your thoughts going into the game? Starting lineups, predictions. I want to hear it all. I've got a message here from Cal. Gonna read this. Apparently, the pitch tonight is plastic. I hope we don't pick up any. Oh, there you go. 150%, Cal. Me and Alex had a discussion earlier on, and some players refused to play on the artificial surface, including a Ronaldinho back in the day. He would refuse to play on artificial surfaces because it's not good for your knees. It's not good for your ankles. A lot of players have rolled ankles and done knee ligaments in playing the surface because it's just too hard. So hopefully tonight we get to rest the likes of Lavia. I wouldn't risk Lavia going into this game. Other players that are injury prone, I just don't think it'd be worth playing on this surface. So hopefully tonight we can take that into consideration. Maresca can rotate the squad, and the players that suffer with bad knees and ankles, let's say, they get a rest tonight, because I don't feel like the surface is going to do them any favors. 100%, Cal. That's a very good point. Neil Matt Reynolds, big up, massive big up to Kev. Big up to yourself as well. Thank you for coming on as always. We're starting to get some regular people on, which is good. This is why we do these shows for yourself, to have your say on stuff. We're not professionals, but we try and make it as professional as possible. So big up yourself, and for jumping on once again. Please keep on putting posts in the comments, and I will answer back to them accordingly. Tom Avery, Palmer should be starting from his form. Needs a chance to turn it around. I don't think a player like Palmer will get judged in a game like this tonight. I feel like the system ultimately is not helping him. I feel like last season with him playing off the right side helped him more as a player, and I feel like with him in the cam, what you're finding now is everybody knows Palmer's qualities. Everyone knows he's a threat. So when he's playing the cam, what you tend to see is the 2 defensive midfielders. One of them's always marking him. So that's creating less space in the middle. I feel like a Palmer playing off the right, even if you're going to do a man marking system where you're going to man mark him, if he's playing in the right, he's going to pull one player out of space, and you're then left with probably one defensive midfielder, which opens up more space. So I think the system doesn't suit Parma. I think it's a more structural system where a lot of players haven't got the freedom to express themselves. So the reason why Parma's form has probably fallen off is because of the system. So hopefully Maresca can make a couple of tactical adjustments there, and we can start seeing the best of Parma going into the end of the season. Jordan, the manager and players are really happy with the pitch. It's the first time I've seen the plastic and the ball bounce. So the manager and the players are not happy with the pitch. It's the first time I've seen plastic and the ball doesn't bounce enough on the ground. No, I play on 4G every single day with what I do, and it's not. If you're going to clip a pass, if you're want to get your foot on the ball, and it's not a normal. It's not a what's I'm looking for. It's not a natural bounce of the ball. It's not. You can't even get your foot on the wicket. It's hard. It's going to be a lot harder for the players tonight to perform on it. The best thing I'd probably suggest is we keep the ball on the floor. You know, but playing on 4G at any level, I don't think it's great. Especially being in Europa competitions, maybe something that the UEFA needs to look at for next season and make sure that teams have got proper grass and not this artificial flooring. Jordan Evans, I will put George striker instead of Jackson. What if Jackson gets injured? We are doomed. We haven't got Nkinku playing today, so we need Jackson and Liverpool. Fair point. Fair point. Obviously, Nkinku, I don't believe he'll be anywhere near the squad coming towards the end of the season. We can see with his body language that he's not happy at Chelsea. And it's having a rub-on effect on the team. So the best thing we can do is keep Nkinku far away from the squad. George will be an ideal replacement in the striker position. You know, he's done phenomenally. It's tipped him with a goal against Fulham, scored against Warsaw, and he looks like he wants to give teams a good going. He wants to give teams a good running at. He's not scared to get on the ball. He's not scared to run at players. He's not scared to shoot. And this is what we need. We need the players to start shooting more. We need them to be more confident in front of goal. I think over the last couple of weeks, you have seen some improvements. I think Sancho with a good goal against Ipswich a couple of weeks ago. So the wingers are chipping in with goals. So with George, maybe he gets a chance in striker today. Maybe Jackson gets a rest. Good point. Stephen Michaels, big up Kev. He's a Djurgården and the bust. Wackham and Rask. It's the only way to pay for a trophy. Europa League Conference games guarantee if we miss Road for Champions League. It's going to be extremely hard for us to get the Champions League spot now. And I've heard once again that fifth spot may go to Tottenham and Man United if they win the Europa League. That's what I'm hearing. So we cannot depend on getting fifth spot to get Champions League. So maybe we need to get fourth place. With the Conference League, it's an absolute no-brainer that we should be winning this trophy. The only team really in it what's going to give us any problems is a Real Betis. They're obviously a form team in Spain right now, so they're the team that we need to look out for. But we should be beating a Real Betis with the players we've got. We should be beating them, so we've got to go into this game tonight and take it seriously. Hopefully, come away with a win, take them back to the bridge, and we perform there as well. Because there's no easy games, but all we can do is try and beat the teams in front of us. No, Matt Reynolds, play the young ones instead of any injury-prone ones like Reece. I would not play Reece James tonight on an artificial pitch, but knowing Maresca is probably going to play him centre midfield. That's the true facts of it. He's not going to play him right back. He'll play him in the midfield, and this is what we've been seeing for the last few weeks. He's been trialing teams, trialing players in different positions at the end of the season. And this is my point. He should have a structured team. He should have players playing the right position by now. We've only got less than six games left. I think it's 5 league games left, and you're playing players that position. It's not good. So let's see who plays, and we will come to that after. We will do a predicted starting 11 a bit later, where we look more into Djurgården and what they've got to offer as well. But yeah, James for me would be resting tonight as well. It does make sense. That Liverpool game on the weekend is very important, even though Liverpool have already won the league. I still feel like they'll come to the bridge and try and win. So we need to make sure all our players are ready and firing and trying to get the 3 points against Liverpool on Sunday. Khalid, thank you for jumping on, my friend. Watching Barca versus Inter yesterday generally demoralised me as Chelsea fan, considering how far and how our fan base fights over useless debates. Yeah, can you expand on it a bit, mate? Yeah, I'm sure the fan base is divided on certain topics, and we've all got our visions and how we see Chelsea at the moment. And can we really be happy with how Chelsea are at the moment with the form that we've been in since the start of the year? Can we be happy with the transfer policy? Can we be happy with the manager and how we're setting this up? There's a lot of different talking points for Chelsea fans, and it's a very divided fan base. So I think we've all got a right to express our feelings and stuff. But yeah, Barca being yesterday, the quality of that game, the quality of the wingers. Let's talk about young lad Yamal. What an absolute player he is. Fearful. And this is what we need at Chelsea. We need wingers that can cut inside and shoot. And you're seeing that on a consistent basis from such a young lad. So yeah, the style of football there at Barcelona, 158 goals scored in a calendar year. It's good stuff to see. And maybe Chelsea, we can get back to the Chelsea of old and we can start catching teams at Barcelona because they're a really good team. Jay, big up yourself. Thank you very much for jumping on. Don't mean to divert, but you see what Hewlett had to say about Todd Bowler. It's a big problem. But what we think, we're seeing the club shift from winning to business so quickly. And Jay, you've hit the nail on the head. So I'm going to go on to pies right now. I've seen this earlier, and I was going to talk about it as well. What an absolute legend, Ruud Hewlett, who's obviously had a few comments to say. So I'm just going to share the screen right now. One sec. So I'm going to share the screen with yourself. Eyes. Okay. So okay. Hopefully everyone can see that. Give me 1 second. Let me zoom in a tiny bit. Okay. So just coming off the back of Jay's comments there, Ruud Hewlett has come out very recently. I think yesterday with comments about Todd Bowley. Okay. So I'm going to read some comments from him and what he had to say. Clubs nowadays are run more like as a business than my heart. For some reason, they don't get it. It feels as if the heart is out of the football. Milan, Rome, Chelsea, Man United. Ruud Hewlett. I met the Chelsea owner Todd Bowley. Introduced myself. I am Ruud Hewlett. Todd said, "What do you do? What do you do?" You're talking about probably one of the biggest legends of Chelsea Football Club. You're talking about one of the managers that changed Chelsea back in the 90s, and he brought over some of the best talents. And Todd Bowley has got the. It just disgraces me. Todd Bowley, what do you do? Well, I play football and I coached and played for Chelsea. Oh yeah, when did you play for Chelsea? What did you do for Chelsea? He didn't know. Show more. He didn't know. Can I blame him? No, but this is what it is now. They don't know about the club. It's all about the DNA is gone. 150 million%. When you've got your owner asking about Ruud Hewlett, one of the biggest legends in the game, one of the biggest legends for Chelsea Football Club, let's be real, asking who he is and what he did goes to show that they're not doing the research on the club. Before you go into a club as an owner, wouldn't you do a bit of research into them, find out a bit about the history, the legends? Wouldn't you even just, I just don't get it. Did they even know when Chelsea was formed? Did they even know that? I don't think they even know anything about the club. So Ruud Hewlett is absolutely bang on when he talks about these owners do not give a shit about the club. They don't know anything about the club. All they're bothered about is how much profit they're going to get from the club. It's as simple as that. And I'm just baffled, absolutely baffled about it. But this is it. This is the owners we've got. So how can we be surprised? How can we really be surprised? In life, no limits. Kev, I beg to differ on Palmer. The kid is just going through a phase of low confidence. This is his position that made him miss his penalties. His created chances, missed chances. Fair point. Fair point. Yeah, yeah, the confidence is clearly not there. Seeing his body language is not completely happy. I do believe the system is kind of nullifying his talents a tiny bit, but confidence is a massive factor of it. And also, it's down to the managers to regain that confidence. We all know the player is, and 22 GAs a season is not bad when you consider Bakayo Saka, his best season is 25 GAs, and Palmer has nowhere near hit the heights of last season. He's still on 22 GAs. Goes to show how quality he is. All we can do is get behind him. All the manager can do is try and give him the confidence to get him back up to scratch, because Palmer's going to be needed as much as everyone else, and he's a key player for us. But what can we do as a team and as a fan base to try and get the best back out of Palmer? Because, yeah, the last 2 months hasn't been great. Hasn't been great. Khalid, I mean, our fan base is divided on debates that don't benefit the team. For example, the people that rep certain players and slander everyone else, we're too divided. Yeah, completely agree. We are divided as a fan base. And the reason being is because there's no clarity on the club. There's no direction with the club at the moment. As match going fans, myself and Alex and everyone else, we all have different opinions on how Chelsea should be run. Some people are going towards the manager and saying the tactics are outdoing us at the moment. Some people are going to the board. Some people are going to the owners. And I've said this and I've said it many times. If you're pointing the finger at the manager, you're pointing a bit too low, because changing the manager end of the season, what does that change for the football club? You're going to bring in another manager. It's just going to be the same thing again. So I just believe that all the fingers being pointed at Maresca out. It was only 2-3 months ago that we was all singing Maresca's name. So don't flip all of a sudden now just because the forms fell off. Everyone's just falling for it again and blaming the manager. And I am not a Maresca out man right now. I want to keep Maresca in. I want Maresca to be in. I want him to get backed, and I want the board to back him with the right identity for the club. Because there's no point in changing the manager. It's not going to change anything. It's just going to be the same old. So yeah, everyone leaves the thoughts on that. What do you think about the massive diver with the fan base at the moment? A very good topic there. Jay, big up Kev. This is why I say we will never be the like us of old. We are an asset to these guys. They call us customers. We need to stand collectively and get these guys out. Chelsea's dead. Chelsea at the moment are in the shadow of the shadow of the team, shadow of the club. The owners have yet to come out and give us any clarity of where we want to go. And this is the reason why, as a fan base, we are very split, and it's a shame. All we can do is try and organise another protest. I really feel like another protest, last game of the season, to let these board members know that the next transfer window will set us up. The next transfer window is key. We've had three already, 3 seasons of an absolute mess. This next transfer window, we need people in that dressing room with character. We need leadership. We need world class acquisitions. As it's just going to be the same old next season. There's no point us sitting here blaming the manager, blaming the tactics, when all he's getting is players like Kieran Dewsbury Hall and Viega and players that he doesn't want. We need to really look higher up. We need world class talents in this team. But how are we going to attract them if we haven't got Champions League football? So everything depends on this season running now. Can we get Champions League football to secure better players, to give the manager more? Sorry about that. I think a wasp just flew into my room. Sorry about that. Yeah. So yeah, good point. But yeah, I feel that the only way we can get our ideas and our feelings heard is getting another protest underway. And I think the last game of the season, we should be trying up on our numbers to try and see if they can change the way they're thinking. Khalid, debt is not a sign of success or failure of clubs. Madrid, Barcelona, all in debt and won major trophies again. Business side is not the issue; it's the football side. Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. I feel like we haven't attracted the right players for this club. I feel like with Barcelona, they've had they've got a brilliant mix up of youth. They've got experience, youth. They've got world class players, and that's the reason why they're at the latter stage of Champions League and flourishing. They've also got a world class elite manager. So yeah, we need to try and copy their model because right now it's just too much youth coming in. When you look at Barcelona's team throughout the squad, they've still got Lewandowski in the team. He's 36 and still banging in the goals. So we need more characters. We need more characters in that dressing room for us to be in with a shot to win things next year because we do need the domestic trophy. We do need to be challenging for the Premier League, and we also need to, if we do get Champions League football, I don't want to be in it just to compete. I want us to be. Oh, sorry, I want us to be challenging for the Champions League. This is the thing. So let's see what next season brings. That boy don't care about the club and he hasn't done in years. His research through the club doesn't know about Rue Lillis. What a legend. Todd probably doesn't know John Terry and Lampard next. You're probably right. He probably doesn't even know Didier Drogba. He probably doesn't know anything. Like if I mentioned Marcel Desailly or Jimmy Van Bank, he probably doesn't know none of them. And this is the thing; these are the owners now. They've done no research into the club. They don't know anything about the club. And when you've got such a legend, um, such a legend like Rudy Gullit, he hasn't got a clue about him. Goes to show who we are dealing with here. They are literally here for the moment to make the profit, and the heart's not in the club. Like Rudy said, the heart is not in the club. It's all there for profit. Simple as that, and it's bad to see. It's really bad to see. Khalid, I agree with Ken Maresca is least of our problems today. He has coached us the right way and all the the metrics show it. With good defensively, offensively, he needs supporting somehow. I still feel like his tactics sometimes are a bit too structured. I feel like that in the attacking phase, I feel like we need a bit more freedom. I feel like this inverted style of football hasn't quite worked out. I still feel like we need a lot more width. We need our wing backs overlapping like last season, where we had Gusto, he was one of our best players, and he was always that wide. I feel like his play coming in the middle is not for him. So yeah, Maresca is there or thereabouts. Is he a title winning manager? I don't think he's quite there yet. But for me, there's clear improvements in last season. But at the same time, he's taken a couple of players backwards because his structure and the way he sets teams up. So yeah, I don't feel like he should be sacked. Even if we don't get Champions League, there's just no point. We need to work with the manager. We need to back the manager and give him more tools to his toolbox. Give him better players, and hopefully we can start seeing Maresca flourish next season. Because at the end of the day, at the start of the season, did we have one bad word to say about him? The football was good, everything was good. I feel like in January, where we lost a bit of form, we should have got back then. He never got backed. So we are where we are. But is it Maresca's fault? Yeah, I don't think it is. I don't really think it really is. Kev, you getting Don Roman's book revealing the truth? Yes, 100%. 150%. And I feel so sorry for this guy that he has to get his word out there through a book because the English media will never ever give him the time of day for him to get his words of events out. The guy has had his club stolen from him from the UK government. He's had it stolen, and his billions of pounds out of pocket because he left the club debt free. What a man, what a legend. And I will be getting that book because I want to know. I really want to know in depth what happened because the UK government covered it up There's way more to this story than what we've heard. You know, you cannot have a football club and the next minute it gets took, your assets get took, and you don't get a penny from it. So where did the money go from the side of that club? Where has the money gone? Clearly, it didn't get put into the club, so someone's profited from it. So hopefully, Mr. Don Roman can tell us a bit more what went on, because they ruined Chelsea. But let's be real, the UK government ruined Chelsea. They really did. Jay, being 1.2 million pound in debt with a double-digit interest is abnormal, especially in 3 years. Only mind Roman cleared this debt before sanction. That's a bigger debt than the Glazers have been there 20 years. Go show where the club's heading. Go show where the club's heading. For them to run this club, they took over this club debt-free. Yeah. 3 years down the line, we are 1.2 million pound in debt. And without Champions League football, that debt is only going to go further and further up, because the Champions League, the money that you get only from that, 60 million pounds, I think it is. If you continue to keep losing out on that money on a yearly basis, when you consider against Liga Warsaw, 29,000 fans, when you consider the amount of money we're losing and you consider the debt that we're accumulating, it's only going to get worse, man. And I said it a couple of weeks ago, it's scary times for the club. It really is. So I just don't know where the future heads, but all we can do is get behind it as fans and just try and get positives out of it. Because end of the day, the transfer policy, you know, we have gone on and proved to the world that, you know, we want the best of the youth around the world. You know, going out and signing acquisitions from Brazil and Portugal, etc. But really, is that really going to win us stuff, or is it just for profits? We need to be going and signing players to win stuff, you know, because winning stuff gives you money. It brings the money into the club. Without winning stuff, without Champions League, what are the players you're going to attract? What are the money? What's the amount of money you're going to bring in? So scary times ahead for Chelsea with us being in so much debt. Really is. If Bowen doesn't know people, expect a Barley for Laciano to know. They're all horrible, but Barley is the worst of all of them. He's the one running the charade. Thoughts on this then, boys? Egg Barley. Last week, you know, he walked at the stadium and he got away. Alex let him get away. But thoughts all together, lads, about the ownership and not doing their history, doing the research into the history of the club. I think it's absolutely disgusting that Rude Hillett, like I said, if it wasn't for Rude Hillett, this guy, a World Cup winner, wouldn't have signed. Like he basically put Chelsea on the pedestal. He gave a Champions League football. You know, how can your ownership not know about such a massive legend for the club? It really is disrespectful and totally disgraceful, to be fair. These owners don't know anything about the club, don't know anything about anything, and they're there running one of the biggest clubs in the world. It baffles me. So, what are your thoughts on that, lads? How do you feel about this ownership and what they are and who they are and what they're doing to the club? Because yeah, not good. It's not good at all. Another comment here by Jordan. The UK government ruined Chelsea and these owners trust the process and the project. What project? I don't see. It's improvement in the football club. All I see is boring football every time. I'm not going to lie. I have not been insane this season. I think start of the season a tiny bit, but as the season's coming to an end, can you really, hand in heart, say that when you've gone to a game, I've witnessed a moment of genius or a moment where you're just like, wow. Like usually when I go to a game, I'd sit there on my phone after and be like, oh, what a game. And I'd be thinking about it for days and days and days. The only time I can come up with season with the game I've went to is Tottenham away in the penalty, we're bowling the penalty from the chip penalty by Mr. Chippy Chips, Mr. Cole Palmer. That's the only time this season I can feel like I've had that moment. There's not been special moments. But is that down to the ownership? I can probably say a bit, but mostly I think that's down to the manager's tactics. Unless the fans made it heard towards the latter end of last season where there was bored. They're saying the football is very pragmatic, it's side to side, it's not very aggressive with them trying to get into into the area and try and get shots away. It's more passy, try and find the spaces. And that's what we're seeing now with the football. So I think in respective of the ball in football, I think that's more aimed at Maresca, but he needs to make adjustments. He's the man in charge, you know, and this is the key to it. When you're a manager, when you're a manager, oh, when you're a manager of a massive club like Chelsea, you need to take the responsibility to obviously change things when you see them. If things are not working, you change them, and that's the difference between a winning manager and a lesser proven manager. And I think every single day we're seeing it. Maresca's tactics are he's not quite there yet because he's been very stubborn. Things haven't worked since the start of the year, and we're continuing to see the same things every week. Our right backs being playing infield. We're seeing our right backs even playing in midfield now. So this goes to show the manager's tactics. He chooses a team. He sets tactics up. So he needs to take responsibility for the way we're playing. Over $1 billion spent on players, and we can only say 90% of has been wasted on youngsters that will never play for us, poor squad players, and mad transfers. Felix said, yeah, yeah. And when I seen that team, I think it was because when you consider the team that we might be playing tonight, and you think that we've spent over $1 billion, and we're going to have the likes of Dewsbury Hall, Tuttin, George, come on, let's be real, man. Mid players, yeah. No offense to the likes of George, an up and coming player, Cobham graduate, or would he even get a look in? Say if it was 4 years ago and the Roman above him, George would even get a look in because put it like this: the players ahead of him wouldn't give him a chance to get a shout solely because with that light in areas and the wingers have been playing that poorly of recent, that George and Achampong are getting opportunities. So yeah, it's just an absolute disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace, the squad that we've got. And consider that we've signed two youngsters from Portugal that we're not even going to see for 2 years. So the planning and the money being spent, I just don't get it. I really don't. But what can we do? This is the model. What can we do? We have to just try and like it or lump it. It's as simple as that. Khalid, in my opinion, I think debt talk doesn't matter. Inter have insane debt, less transfer budget. They are a better team. Why? Because they have the right mind, such as Giuseppe Morata recruitment. Look at the recruitment at Inter. Look at the spine of Inter. Um, World class centre backs Bastoni. They've got Shogaloglu, Turkish before, Turkish captain. Di Marco, Italian, a vice captain. They've got Lily Churam up front. Martinez as well. So they've got experience as well as youth. And most teams at the latter stages of the Champions League have got the same. Arsenal, experience and youth. PSG, same. Barcelona, Inter. And when you look at the Chelsea team and you look at the experience we've got in the dressing room and the leadership, with us going into the Champions League next season, it's only going to be a disaster if we don't get the right characters in the changing room. And we can continue talking about the same thing. We all know now. We literally all know the reason why we fell off. Because when you look in that dressing room, what characters have we got? What leadership have we got? So things need to change. Things need to change. If there wasn't a Roman, there would be no Chelsea Football Club. The business he's done for us. Egbali, Todd Boy don't even care. Like the way Egbali walks away pretending nothing happened. Yeah, fair point, George. Fair point. Massive shade take from Cal. Hit the like button. 50 of us in the chat. 50 of us in the chat. How many likes can we get? Can we get 30 likes? Easily achievable. 30 likes at least, people. Come on. I do this in my own time. Yeah. So please like, share, subscribe. That's the minimum we can do. Big up to yourself, Cal, for that one. Lil Tanushi, Maresca out. That's your fault. We are going to get embarrassed at this Club World Cup, potentially. Monkey Gaming, yo, what's up, Kev? What are your predictions? My predictions for tonight. Okay, let's go a bit into tonight. So that's the next segment. Yeah. So tonight, people's predictions. Leave it in the comments. What are your squad predictions for tonight? Your starting 11. What are your results predictions? How do you feel we're going to get on tonight? I'm going to go into a bit about how I thought we're going to get on and my predicted lineup. So, give me one sec. So my predicted lineup. Give me 1 second. Let me get it up in pies. There it is. Predicted lineup. Chelsea lineup for tonight. Okay. So let me just share this screen with yourselves. Set. Please bear me a second, people. Right, yo. Hopefully everyone can see that coming up on their screen. Okay. So, in goal, I'd start. It'd have to be Philip Jorgensen starting in goal for me tonight. When we consider Sanchez and Jorgensen, the mistakes they've made in the last few weeks, they'd both be dropped it and under any other circumstance, but we have to go with what we got, unfortunately. So Philip Jorgensen would be in the sticks tonight, number one. I'd go with Gusto left back. I just don't feel like we need to play Mark Cucurella tonight. I feel like obviously on this 5G, 4G artificial surface, we don't need to be risking first team players and getting any injuries. It'd be a very stupid thing to do. So I feel like Gusto, obviously not the Gusto we seen last season. Not in form, not confident, but just give him a run out. I feel like that's a good shot for left back. Right back, it'd have to be Action for me. Had a pretty good game in Warsaw a few weeks ago. Very strong, very quick. Can play centre back and right back. I feel like he'd be a good player to start in the right back position tonight. It will be Tosin and Chile centre back. Going into the midfield, into the pivots, I'd have Dewsbury Hall in the midfield, and I'd probably start next to him. Oh, bloody hell. Look at the squad depth we've got. So I wouldn't start Roman Lavia. I'd rest him. He'd probably be Moises Caicedo. I feel like Enzo is more prone to injuries. Moises Caicedo is the most naturally fit player in the team. I just feel like with him captaining tonight, giving us that the strong leadership that he's got, giving us the core and the running, the work rate, the breakup play. I feel that's something that we'll need tonight. So maybe Caicedo and Dewsbury Hall in the pivot. Going into the three amigos beyond the striker. For me, it'd be Sancho on the left, Toby George on the right. And who would you play Cam, everybody? Who would you go into Cam? Because we haven't got, we've got Nkinku that's been dropped. We've got Palmer that you probably want to rest. And obviously we haven't got Joe Felix, he's on loan. So who would be your player in the Cam to start behind the big man up top? Who would you have? Thoughts? Thoughts, please, on that. Thoughts on that. And for me personally, so I've got Dills here. Big up yourself, Dills. Sancho, George, and Palmer. So, Dills, would it be Sancho on the right, George on the right? What would it be? Palmer through the middle? Yeah, 100%. Rene, I think it would be Palmer. And that goes to show with the squad depth and the squad depth of this team. You're talking about a 1.2 billion pound squad, and you haven't got a player to start in such a low competition. And also, when you consider we let Carnage Chukwuemeka go, he could play Cam, and we kept Nkunku that made it known that he wanted to leave. It just baffles me with the planning with the squad. Do we really want to be starting Palmer in the Europa Conference League? And what imagine if he gets injured? And this is my thoughts on it. But yeah, I do believe it will be Palmer starting myself. I really do. And there's only one striker available, so it'd have to be Jackson up front. So my starting line, let's go for it back again. Philip Jorgensen in goal. Gusto left back. Badishil and Tosin centre backs. Hatchimpong right back. Dewsbury and Casado in the pivot. Three behind the striker would be Sancho, Palmer, and George, and Nicholas Jackson tonight. And the only reason why I'd probably start Jackson as well is because I feel like the guy needs confidence. He needs consistent runs where he's scoring goals. Scored the weekend, very important goal. Maybe if he scores again tonight, we can then go on a little run with him scoring goals again. Because 22 hours without a goal is not acceptable for any standard of football. With you being a striker, your job is to put the ball in the goal. And when you have 22 hours, so he could have played for a full day, 24 hours in a day. So he's 2 hours off playing for a whole day and not been able to put the ball in the back of the net. So maybe Jackson starts tonight, gets a goal, gives him the confidence again because he needs a good run now. Because we already know he's not capable of consistently scoring. And that's one position that we need to strengthen next year for us to be catching the pack. Because Jackson's not doing it. So, yeah. Harvey Clark, not a bad idea. Pedro Neto's a striker, not a bad idea at all. I am up for that. But personally, he'd have to be Jackson for me. And that's just from a confidence standpoint. I feel like he needs to score again tonight. We need a good performance like when he scored tonight. We've got the league champions the weekend. And trust me, they are not going to play their second team. They're going to come to the bridge to win. I know with Arne Slot's mentality, they're coming to the bridge to win, even though they've got nothing to play for. So we need to be ready. So hopefully, Mr. Maresca can put out a good team tonight for us to get a win. Simple as that. Well, yeah, Dill's there. Run up the likes, everybody. Run up the likes. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. So yeah, that's my predictions for tonight. I'm gonna go into Djurgården's team now. I'm going to try and highlight any players I think I know and any threats in their team. So give me 1 second. So Djurgården is going to go for their team now. So just looking through. Wow. I literally couldn't tell you one player in that squad. I think Magnus Eriksson. I've heard the name, but that's it. Does anyone know anything about Djurgården, by the way? All I know they're a Swedish club. In the comments, anybody know anything about Djurgården? Because I haven't got a clue. I've not got a clue. Predicted scorelines as well, everybody. What we feeling like with the predicted scorelines? Rene, Berggaard at Tottenham came from there. Okay. And he's a decent player, but he's not there now. So anything on the players that they've got now? 2-0, Star Slayer. 2-0. Who to? Is it 2-0 to Djurgården? 2-0 to Chelsea. Hopefully that's Chelsea, by the way. Anyone else with your predicted scoreline tonight? Bills, apparently Djurgården apparently play. They've got 14 major injuries. All good to us. If they've got 14 major injuries and we don't go there tonight and win, what does that show about us? Yeah, what does it show about us? Bills 3-0. I'll take that. 3-0. Jordan Evans. Ekdal used to play for Lazio. Okay. Ekdal. Let's have a look. Oh, Albin Ekdal. Okay. Also, anyone traveling to Sweden? Anyone traveling to Sweden today for the game? If you are, stay safe and all the best, and hopefully it's a good game for you. So we've got a few predictions coming in. Anton, big up yourself. Thank you for jumping on, and also smash that like. 5-0 Chelsea. I'll take that. I'll take anything tonight, as long as we've got a bit of a gap going into the game next week at the Bridge. We're doing well. But let's be real, people. When I look through their squad, wow, this game's there for the taking tonight. We've got to show up and we've got to beat them because they have got a good team. Let's be real. For them to be in the semi-final of a European competition goes to show how bad this competition is. So yeah, 3-0, 5-0s. I'm up for all of it. I'm up for all of that. We got Claudius Annan, 3-0. Hopefully that's the Chelsea. We need to get the win and move on to Sunday. Crunch game, 100%. And how's everybody feeling about going into the game Sunday? Are we feeling confident? Do we feel that we could ruin Liverpool's title tour, let's say? You know, I'm not going to be watching the start of the game. I cannot bear to see my Chelsea giving that team, that club, a guarded honour. No way. I will not be locked in at the start of that game to see it. How are we feeling going into the weekend? Are we feeling confident enough for us to get the points? Because I'm telling you now, this running is going to be very tight. And like I said, we cannot depend on that fifth position. We cannot depend on it. Jay, I have a feeling Chelsea lose Conference League. Hold me to it by the end of the season. Jay, I said it for a couple of weeks ago. Real Betis are the form team in Spain right now. They are beating teams every week. They've got an Anthony who's flourishing. They've got a core. They've got experience. They've got an experienced manager. They are not there to mess about. So if we feel like we've got a name on the trophy, we are yet to see it. And that final is going to be a tight final. So hopefully, yeah, we are prepared for a loss because if we're thinking that we're going to win this trophy the way we've been playing, we are in for a shock. We are in for a shock. Harvey Clark depends on how strong the Liverpool team will be. Yeah, what I'm telling you now, Harvey, they're not going to play a weak team. Liverpool, to the end of the season, they will play the strongest teams every game. The mentality of his manager is just because you've won, they are going to continue to keep picking the points. Because at the end of the day, you've got to think it like this. If you're an elite manager and you've just won the league, why would you change it and start playing the weakened team? You want to continue that. You want to see the mindset of your players towards the end of the season. So you continue that form into next season. If you play a weakened team and you go and lose 3-4 on the bounce, that will leave a bad taste to the end of the season, if you know what I mean. So I don't believe Liverpool will play a weakened team. They're going to come out to beat us. Trust me. So how are we feeling about that? Bills. We know every game we're going to is a must to win because it's a major for the failure of the club. Because if we don't even get UEFA Champions League, we'll have to have PSR problems at the club. Yeah, good point. Good club. Good point, Dills. Champions League is a must. Without Champions League football, I'm telling you now. And also, what are your thoughts, people? About the sponsorship deal that we've got. So we've got a new. Let me try and get this up. What are your thoughts on this sponsorship deal? I forgot to mention it. So I'm gonna go into the BBC. I'm gonna share this. Share this with you now. So any feeling about this, people? I'm absolutely baffled about it. So we're going into May, and we've just gone and got a front of face sponsor in the last month of the season. Let me get it up. I heard it yesterday from someone. Let me share the screen. Let me share the screen. Give me one sec. Let me share. Okay. Hopefully everyone can see this. Hopefully everyone can see this. Okay. So I'm gonna go from a page of BBC Sport. Chelsea to have front of shirt sponsor. Chelsea will have a sponsor on their shirt until the end of the season after announcing the deal with Dubai-based property firm Damac. Damac has become Chelsea's official property development partner. It's a logo which will feature in the first game in the Conference League against Dragon today. And that's it. That's it. Well, yeah, people, what are your thoughts on that? I'm just this club is just embarrassing, isn't it? When you think about it, you have a whole pre-season, so that's like 2 months to get sponsorship for the club and get a front of your shirt sponsor. But all of a sudden, it's May the 1st. There's only like 3 weeks left of the season, and you've now secured your front of shirt sponsor. What is happening? You don't even see this at Sunday League level. You don't even see this at Sunday League level. Even at Sunday League level, teams will have sponsors on the shirt. And it's not like you're going to be like, oh, you know what? Let's just go and get a sponsor for our shirt last few games of the season. Do you get where I'm coming from? I just find it absurd. I really do. The way this club has been run. Wow. So, yeah, we've announced recently that we've got a new sponsorship deal with Damac. What are your thoughts on that, people? I just find it a bit funny, to be fair. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. Let me go through some of the comments. Let me go through some of the. Yeah. A good one here by Steve. Return of the Mac. Return of the Mac. Absolutely amazing. Dills. Oh, sorry about that. I lost my camera. Sorry about that. Deals. It's not a long-term sponsorship because if we do get Europa Champions League, we'll get a better sponsorship deal. It's not. It's not the fact. It's not the fact of that deals. It's just the fact that what's the point even putting it on for a few games? Last season is when we've done the same thing with that infinite athlete. I think it was like the last month we've done that. I just feel like why aren't they planning to get a sponsorship deal done now for next season? So they're giving themselves time. What is happening at the club? Who is running things? Who is trying to get the sponsorship? Who is in charge of doing this stuff? Who is making the decisions to even do something so absurd within the last few games of the season? I just don't get it. But yeah, weird times at Chelsea. Weird times. Jordan Evans, we will get real betters in the final. We will get cut the squad they've got Anthony Berlin, William Carvalho, Mark Bakimbu, Ricardo Rodriguez, quality players. If we don't win, it'd be a failure. 100%. They've got experience. They've got the experience for that squad. They've got a good manager. I'm not taking anything for granted. Anything for granted. The way I feel right now, I feel Betis will be the favourites, and that's me being honest. I can't bring myself to believe that we've got it in us. When I've seen us drawn to the likes of Ipswich, a relegation team, how can I believe Chelsea can pull things out the pull the fingers out and get this trophy over the line. I have no belief in it. So just gonna be real here. Betis for me would be the favourites. Simple as that. Would Roman secure front of shirt sponsor for 4 league games? We've become so unserious, and what a craze! I just, if you don't laugh, you cry. I'm telling you, I've seen Sunday league teams run more professionally and run better than what I'm seeing at Chelsea. I'm telling you now, who's planning? As board of directors, you sit down at a table and you would plan. You'd approach companies, not before games to go in the season. You're talking like 2-3 months towards the end of the season. You would approach teams to sponsor you for the next season. So I'm not getting why we're doing it within 4 games left. I just really don't know. I just really don't know, Jay. I really don't know. Really don't know. Ron Evans, Chelsea all the time go for pre-season, and now near the end of the season we've got a sponsor on the shirt. What are the owners doing? It's a joke. It freaking is, mate. It's an absolute disgrace. It's actually embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Yeah. And I'm going to show you something. It's really funny. Give me one sec. Yeah. So look, big up my shirt dealer. Yeah, I'm going to show you this. So my shirt dealer, yeah, he actually put the sponsor on the start of the season. He put the sponsor on for me. Yeah, and that's Infinite Asphalt. And I told him, do you know that we haven't even got a shirt sponsor yet? Took that in a frigging bin. Of course, we didn't even have a sponsor. And now we're going on, we've got, I just don't know. The Mac. Yeah. I just don't get it. At least change the pattern of the kit. It's just the same kit, apart from the sponsor. It's nothing new. And then the PO was telling us creator errors and rider. We're in discussions with you at us in January. This is what I can't believe the report. Then Brown Envelopes report was instructed. We will never ever retract business from a massive business like Creator Airways without being in Champions League. Because ultimately they want their brand being on big shirts, like for instance, Fly Emirates. We already secured massive sponsorship deals because we was always in the position to get Champions League football. Companies like that won't sponsor a mid club, and that's where we are at the moment with mid. So we're only going to attract mid sponsorship, and this is the reason why we haven't even got a sponsorship at the minute up until now, and we're going to get a Damac, our sponsor, with 4 games to go. It's an absolute disgrace, and the planning and everything else goes down to the people upstairs, and they completely ruin this club. And yeah, it was PR. When I heard that we were going to get Creator Air sponsor, yeah, right. Creator Air was in Chelsea, you stupid. You think Creator Air was going to sponsor any Europa Conference League team? Come on, man. Come on. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. At least we've got a sponsor. At least get a sponsor that the fans know, not a sponsorship we don't know from a Dubai. What are we doing? It's a disgrace. I don't know anything about Damac, but I'm sure they're going to be a biggest kind of company. Not in England, but I'm sure on an international level. Christian coming up with a point here. Damac is a huge company. So let's research a bit about Damac and see what they're about. Damac. Damac Group. Okay, so just getting some information here. I want to share the screen with you. So we can just get a bit of information about our new sponsors just before we talk. But yeah, everybody, Still yet to see everyone's score predictions. Please leave them in. If you forgot to smash the like button, please smash the like button. Big up yourself as always. Yeah, thank you for jumping on. So I'm just going to read a bit about Damat before we call it a day. From Dubai to the world. So Damat Group, a private global conglomerate, also known as Damat, a group of companies founded by owner Dubai-based businessman Hussein. Spans with several business verticals established in 1982, with its origins catering in logistics. The Damat Group of companies has expanded to encompass a diverse portfolio across various industries, including property development and real estate, data centers, retail and fashion, hospitality, capital markets, and logistics. So it does seem like they're a massive global company in infrastructure and property development, hospitality, retail. So yeah, it could be a huge company, but it's just the fact that we don't know anything of them. We've had to Google search it. So there may be a massive company in respective of the turnover, but we don't know anything about them. And when you consider there's massive companies in the UK that we could have got sponsorship from, go show where their heads are at. It's just not we're not in the right place as a club. We're really not. So yeah. Let's just get the win tonight. Yeah, on the positive, let's get the win. A lot of negativity going around the club. Let's get the win tonight. Yeah. And I'd like to say once again, thank you everyone for joining for your lunchtime show with yourself, Kev. Like I said, smash the like button, enjoy the football tonight, and all the best for Chelsea going into the weekend. Up the Chelsea and big up yourselves. Thank you very much.